This is a Tracker Pre-Lab video. In this video, you're going to just have a quick look at how to use Tracker. First, you're going to videotape the marble on a ruler. The reason we're doing this is because we're doing a lab. There's two important purposes to this lab. One is to find the velocity of a marble going at a constant rate. The second purpose is to learn how to use Tracker, because you're going to be using Tracker a number of other times. So this is to get you familiar with Tracker using detailed Tracker instructions. You're going to be videotaping the marble on the ruler. Let's try this again. You can see in this videotape we've got a marble, and it's going to come up pretty soon, and it's coming up, and it's going slow, and it's going down the ruler, and then we're going to do something with that video. Now when you're videotaping, there's some important things to remember. You're going to have to set the camera onto slow motion, and super slow motion for that fact. Most of these cameras should already be set up. Double check to make sure there's a little running man in the upper left corner of the screen, and then make sure the frame rate on the camera is at 120 frames per second. That's why this marble takes so long to roll across the ruler. So you have to remember to set the video camera to 120 frames per second. It should already be set up. You should just have to confirm that. The other thing that's real important is when Mrs. Penoff made this video, she kept the camera still. It's real easy to want to follow the motion of the ball, but in this case you want to keep the camera totally still while the ball rolls across the ruler. You want to make sure that the ruler is as horizontal as possible, meaning it's going across the screen sideways like that. So when you're taking the videotape, make sure the ruler is going this way horizontally, not vertically. You want to zoom in so that the width of the ruler is about 1/3 of the screen, about this big. And you don't want the marble going too slow, but you don't want it going too fast either. Remember, you're taking 120 frames per second. So if you get the marble going really, really slow, it's not going to make good video. It's going to be very, very long. Next, you're going to transfer this video up to your computer. And you can follow the details in the lab on how to do that. It's not too complicated, and most people have uploaded videos into something before. So just transfer the video to the computer following the directions in the lab. After you transfer the video to the computer, you have to open up Tracker. So to open up Tracker, just go ahead and get to your Start button and type in Tracker in there. Oh, there it is, Tracker. So I've got Tracker. I'm going to go ahead and open up Tracker. I'm going to make Tracker full screen so it's easier to see. After I've got the Tracker program open, I'm going to take the video. I'm going to import it. So I'm going up here to Video, hitting Import. It takes forever for that marble to show up. There it is, and it's looking good. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. After I've made sure that it plays, I'm going to set the frame rate. To set the frame rate, I'm going to go over here where it says Clip Settings, okay, and it says Start Frame, Step Size, End Frame. I just want to go to Frame Rate, and I'm going to change that to 120. So I've got to change that to 120, and I hit Tab because sometimes it doesn't take, and when I hit Tab it said 120 FS, so it's good. I'm going to hit OK. So I've changed the frame rate. The next thing I want to do is the area of interest. I don't want to have to watch it when the marble's not on. So if I go down here, I can change this little triangle and drag it until I can see the marble. There we go. Now, I don't want the marble partially on. I want to see the whole marble. So I'm going to move it on over just a little bit more so the whole marble is there. And then I want to move that little black dot, our triangle, so that's right there. Now I could scoot it a little back a little bit if I wanted to, but that's where I want to start. I want to end it right before the marble goes off the screen. So I'm going to play this, play, and it's getting close, but not there yet. Play, and it is about to go off the screen. So I stopped it down here. I'm going to grab this little triangle and pull it. Okay, and now I've set up my area of interest. The area of the interest in the video is all you're going to be analyzing, and you only want to analyze while the marble's on the screen. So we're clipping the video basically, so you only have it while the marble's on the screen. If I go over here, I can reset it, and yeah, it's starting there, and it ends with the marble still on the screen. So I've defined my area of interest, I've set my frame rate, so now the next thing is to actually track the location of the marble. To track the location of the marble, I reset it again, and I go up to where it says Tracks up here, and go to New. And we're going to go Point Mass. Now there's another way to do it. You can also go to Create Point Mass. Either way works. So the point mass is going to be point mass A, and I am going to pick one place on the marble to keep track of as it goes through here. So I'm going to move the cursor to a point where I want to track, and I think I'm going to track right here where it hits this bottom groove, and then I'm going to hit the Shift button on my computer, and that little cursor changes to a box, and I hit click, and it moves, and then I hit click again, and it moves, and I hit click again, and I keep doing that until it goes all the way through the motion. So now I'm done making all the tracks. I'm going to go up here, and where it looks like a little stardust, I can decide how much of the tracks I want to see. I can see none of the little blocks that I made. I can see, I can see a couple of them. I can see a long trail, or I can see all of them. Let me see all of them. It's a little hard to see because they're a red color and it's a red ruler, but they're all there. You can also double check it by resetting the video. And now I'm going to say I just want to see a short trail. And I can run the video, and you can see those tracks forming. You can also see over here on the graph the dot showing the position of the marble, and you can see data forming over here in the lower right hand corner. All right. Now, in addition to setting the tracks, after you've got those done, you now have to do the initial conditions. The initial conditions are telling the computer where your starting point is and what a distance is. So we got to give it a reference distance. So to get the starting point, you're going to put an axis in here. So there's this little button up here. I click on this, and this is my axis. And I can move that center axis anywhere I want to. I can move it way down here, I move it over here, but I want to move it to right where my starting point was. So I'm going to put it right where that initial point is. In addition, I've got to give it a reference distance. And you've got a ruler right here, so you can use the ruler for your reference distance. You've got to tell the computer what some distance is. Up here, you click on this calibration stick, and you're going to get a blue line here. That blue line can be resized. I can grab onto one edge, I can make it smaller, I can put up and down, I can put sideways. I can make it as big or as little as I want. Okay, I can also grab the other edge. Well, you've got a ruler right here, so you're going to put one point on one thing that you can read. And what if you can't read that real well? Well, you can go back, right-click anywhere on here, and we can zoom in so we can see it. So I'm zooming in. I'm grabbing one end of my calibration stick. I'm going to put it right on the 8 point, right at the edge there. So that's 8. So there's 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can grab this, I could put this on 7 centimeters, but if I go a little more, it'd be better. So I'm going to go, this is 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to make it 10 centimeters long. So I'm going to make this right there. So what I've done is I've started it at 1 centimeter marking, and it happened to be the 8, and then I counted over how many centimeters. 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got to scoot the frame over a little bit. And eventually, so I get to 10 centimeters, and I ended on 10. And then I've got to tell the computer how long that calibration stick is. So way up here, it's got a length, and you click onto the et, and I'm going to make it 10 centimeters, so 1, oh. You don't have a place to type in centimeters, so you don't. You just put in 10. Now, do we want to measure it in centimeters, or do we want to measure it in meters? Let's do it in meters. So to do it in meters, 10 centimeters is 0.1 meters. So let's change this, backspace. I'm going to put 0.1. Now again, it doesn't tell you that this is meters. You're telling it that that distance is 0.1, and you know that the unit is going to be meters. So we've set our initial conditions. We've set what we call the starting point, or the axes, and we've set our meter, our ruler stick. I can pull that axis back up so we can see it again. It's right at the starting point. We've got a ruler. So those two things, the axes and the calibration stick, are our initial conditions. We're almost done with Tracker. The next thing we're going to do is go down here to where the table is and copy all of that data. Let's just copy the data in an easy way. This T is the time. The X is the X position, which is really what we're interested in. We're going to ignore the Y. So we're going to click on the T, click on the X, and then highlight all of that data. It's a lot of data, so you got to go down quite a ways. And then right-click, and you're going to copy selected data, and you're going to copy it as formatted. And then you'll be taking that data and pasting it into graphical analysis, which will be the subject of a different video. Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.